Spurs lose, Spurs lose, Spurs lose. If you watched the game on Wednesday night, you might as well have watched the game tonight. It was pretty much the same story, just minus Ja Morant dunking on Wemby and everyone talking about some dunk that doesn't even count. But I guess to be fair, if Wemby had just blocked the crap out of him, everybody would be talking about that as well. But anyway, if you didn't watch the game, the Grizzlies killed us again, just even worse than the last game. We got beat 140 points to 112 points. Ja Morant didn't play. I think they were saying he had a foot injury. I don't know how he hurt himself or what it was. Maybe his foot was already bothering him, and he just kind of had his foot flare up or whatever it was that's bothering him. But anyway, Grizzlies definitely looked just fine without Ja Morant. We come down here. We'll go ahead. I'll get started with Stephon Castle. He was our one of our bright spots for the game at least. He had 25 minutes out there. I'm sure he would have played 35 minutes if the game was close and we had a reason to play him more, but we just got destroyed again like I was saying. But Stephon Castle started the game really good. He finished with 7 for 11 from the field. Only 25 minutes again. 5 for 7 from the free throw lines. You definitely like to see that. He had been having some struggles from the free throw line. His mechanics look good. His form looks good from the free throw line. So I don't think it's going to be a major thing from him, but he's just adjusting to his free throws and getting better. And the 5 for 7 tonight shows that he's working on them and just getting better on the free throws. But excuse me, Stephon Castle has the 20 points that he finishes with on the 25 minutes, so that's good production. Only 11 shots to get his 20 points. So again, that's some efficient scoring he had. -4 on the plus minus. I mean, if you just look through, there's not anybody was in the plus on the plus minus. Memphis just played so well. I'll get to Memphis in a second, but they were just super physical. Nothing was easy for our guys. They just made everybody uncomfortable. Besides for, Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell got some good shots and they had efficient games, but we'll get to it in a second. We just had a bunch of breakdowns on defense, a bunch of wide open threes and wide open shots for Memphis, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Castle, 20 points. The 3 turnovers. I mean, we had 17 turnovers as a team, so I'm not really mad at Castle. A lot of our guys had turnovers, and that's not just our fault. Credit to Memphis, they played just really good defense and just made us super uncomfortable all game long. But back to Castle, he had the 3 turnovers, he had the 4 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, but I thought he played well on defense. Luke Kennard, I remember one play specifically. Luke Kennard was going right and dribbling. He just hit the brakes and pulled up for his lefty jumper and just wet it right in Castle's face. There was a couple other plays where some other players hit tough shots on Castle, but he's always there with a good contest. And when you're playing in the NBA, people are going to make tough shots over you. That's just a given. But I liked what I saw from Stephon Castle. He did hit the 1-3. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I'm always talking about Castle's performances. Honestly, I would have liked to see him take 14, 15 shots. Whenever he pulls up for a 3, to be honest, I don't really think it's going in. He's still developing his 3 ball, but I'm getting more and more confident in his 3-point shot as time goes on. And it seems like he's getting more and more confident in himself as well. But like I was saying, I don't feel so confident in his 3-point shot or his mid-range shot. But he's going to have to take those shots in game just to develop his shot. There's no other way to develop your shot than getting in-game reps. That's the only way to become a better in-game shooter, is by shooting the shots in game. I've heard people in the Spurs circle and just other people online kind of talking about Stephon Castle shooting too many jumpers and He should get inside. I wouldn't say get inside more, but just take pretty much all of his shots inside. He's super aggressive. He gets to the rim really well, and he finishes very well at the rim. Needless to say, um, but I'm sure the coaching staff is telling him go ahead and shoot some threes. Go ahead and shoot pretty much any shot you feel good about. They're letting him be aggressive and letting him play his game. And again, he just has to do that to develop. But for Castle overall, I think he had a good game overall. There was one play where he had a move on, what was his name? It's the rookie. Yeah, Wells right here. He had a move on Wells. We'll get to Memphis's players. Wells had a great game, but he had a move on Wells in the first quarter where he kind of did like a half spin on him, and he came back and he crossed the crap out of Wells. He got him really really bad on the move. Um, I wouldn't say it was a total ankle breaker. He didn't fall down or anything, but Castle got him bad one and just had a pretty nasty two-handed dunk. But we'll get to the Memphis players eventually here. But yeah, Castle overall, I thought had a good game, and then Vassell also overall had a good game as well. 7 for 13 from the field, so we like to see that. He's starting to seem to get his shot back. He's been inconsistent these past few games with his shot, but I said in previous videos, if we get to like mid February, um, late February, and his shot is still off, I'll definitely start to get worried. But I've heard people just totally overreacting and saying, we got to trade Vassell. People saying Vassell is not untouchable anymore. In my opinion, he's still untouchable right now on our team. Um, People say, he's not the second option to Wemby. He's not good enough. And he's not the second option to Wemby. He is right now, but we're gonna make some big trade, if not before the deadline this season, then in the off season, this coming off season. But Vassell's gonna be our third option scorer. I've said it before, and he's gonna be a great third option. He's gonna be able to score 17 to 25 points as a third option. He might have a hot night and give us 30 plus as our third option. Um, but yeah, I see us trading for an elite point guard or more of a star, all-star caliber point guard, and then that guy's going to be our second option just as far as creating his own shot and creating for the team. He's going to handle the ball, more and take up probably more of the shots that Vassell will be shooting. And then right here, 7 for 13. Right now I want to see Vassell take 15 or more shots for the most part because he is the second option to Wemby right now for this season. But again, once we make that trade and we get our all-star caliber point guard, if Vassell's giving us 7 for 13, that's really great as a third option, giving you 21 points. You'll take that all day as a third option. Again, I'm hearing Spurs fans complaining, Vassell, he's not the second option. He's not the second option. And I agree with you guys. He's not. He's going to be a great third option, though. I think he's untouchable right now. Again, if his inconsistency and shooting woes continue into late February, then I might start to entertain the notion of maybe he is not untouchable, and maybe we can start to explore possible possible trade options for him. But again, 7 for 13 this game. I forgot exactly what he shot last game, but he had a good game as well. Um, he's getting back into his shooting form. He just had that foot injury that he had, but now that he's getting back into the flow of things, we're starting to see the real Devin Vassell. But yeah, the 21 points on 13 shots, 3 for 7 from three, 4 from 5 from the free throw line. So you'd like to see that. That's encouraging. 5 assists. You'd like to see that as well. Vassell's been aggressive getting into the paint and finishing at the rim. He's underrated. He's a really good finisher at the rim. He can dunk on dudes. He can double clutch and finish, at the rim over centers and over power forwards. So I want to see that more from him. Him getting to the rim and mixing that up with his mid-range shooting and with his three-point shooting. Um, Chris Paul, 6 points, 6 assists, no turnovers. No, excuse me. No turnovers. 2 rebounds. 2 for 5 from three. Nothing crazy. I mean, no turnovers. You'd like to see that, of course. 6.6 assists. So, I mean, just kind of a typical Chris Paul game. He only played 29 minutes. I mean, we were not getting blown out in the first half. We were decent in the first half, but going towards the end of the game, we were pretty much just getting destroyed. So Chris Paul was not so much needed. We usually use him going into the end of close games. That's when he makes a lot of his plays. But in this game, it just was what it was. Getting to Wemby, he's 8 for 19 from the field. He had 19 points, so as many points as shots. We'll just call it what it is. He had a bad game. I mean, it is what it is. If you watch the game, I'm sure Wemby would be the first one to tell you that he's not happy with his performance. And I mean, I can't speak for him, but I bet in his opinion he had a bad game as well. So yeah, I mean, of course I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It just was not a good game for Wemby. But in an off night and not a good game for Wemby, he's 8 for 19, 3 for 7 from three. So the 3-point shooting wasn't bad. I'll take him being 3 for 7 pretty much all day, every day. 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 6 blocks, and 19 points. So 19 points, 6 blocks, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists on his off night. Again, 19 shots for 19 points. That is not good. I'm not going to pretend that's okay. The 4 turnovers is not good either. He handles the ball a lot. He's been working on getting better at not turning over the ball. But he is turnover prone right now in his career. It just is what it is. But again, the 6 blocks, the 19 points, the 12 rebounds, he still had a big impact on the game defensively. He always does. But offensively, he was, I guess you could say, a semi-liability. I wouldn't say a huge liability in the game, but it was an off night offensively for him. Um, Again, just reiterate one more time, 19 shots for 19 points. It's never good to have the same amount of points as shot attempts that you have. Then another thing, 0 for 0 from the free throw line. He had no free throws. Um, I'll get into it a little bit deeper. Like, he just looked. I'm not going to use the word soft just 'cause I'm a Spurs fan. I'm sure other people may use the word soft for this game, but he just has to get more physical. Probably put on, I've said before, an extra 15 pounds of muscle, just like he did over this last offseason, and also just find his go-to post move because he doesn't have one yet. But once he does those things, I think we'll be fine. Um, just is what it is. It's an off night for Wemby, so to any Wemby haters watching this video, I'm not sugarcoating it. He did not have a good night. Harrison Barnes, 3 for 8, 1 for 4 from 3, 13 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, no turnovers, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. We'll take that all day from Harrison Barnes. He pretty much always has a solid game. There's never a time in pretty much any games where Harrison Barnes takes a shot or makes a pass or makes a decision where I'm just like, damn it, Harrison, that was a terrible choice. Him and Chris Paul are pretty much always consistent with their play. But getting to the Grizzlies, we have to give them praise. We didn't play well. Let's see, we had 17 turnovers compared to, they only had 7 turnovers. They took great care of the ball. I wouldn't say they're so much a veteran team. They have some young players, but Ja Morant's basically a veteran in the team, veteran in the league at this point. He did not play tonight. For the Spurs, also, Jeremy Sohan didn't play last game or this game. I think he'd really help us against a team like this with his perimeter defense. But going on, we did not play well, and the reason we did not play well offensively is Memphis's defense. They're super good on defense still, and then their pace offensively is just crazy. Um, they're not the same grinded out defense team that they were, 10 years ago or anything like that, or back in the Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph days. But they're still very good defensively. They have a lot of athletic guys. They can switch up. Pretty much all the pick and rolls they can switch with most of their guys and still be in a good position. Then they're just a crazy pace offensively. They're the number 3 team in the West. And they looked like it. It just is what it is. We got beat by the better team. Hopefully we'll learn from it, but Again, to all the Spurs haters and Wemby haters and the Grizzly fans, y'all are just the better team than us right now. Y'all showed it back-to-back games. But going on to the Grizzlies, 8 for 20 for Jaren Jackson, only 19 points. So, same thing for Wemby, like I was saying. Jaren Jackson had 20 field goals and only 19 points. So, that's not a good game offensively as far as I'm concerned. He had the 4 assists, 1 steal, um, only 1 turnover. I feel like these stats aren't fair to Jaren Jackson, to be fair towards him. He had a bigger impact than just 1 steal defensively. If you didn't watch the game and I told you, hey, Jaren Jackson had 1 steal and 0 blocks, you probably think he didn't have that much of an impact defensively. But he definitely did. He made things tough for Wemby. He can switch up a lot of matchups as well and still get good shot contests. And then even being 8 for 20 from the field, 3 for 8 from three, he still gave Wemby some trouble. He got some shots up against Wemby that went down in the post, and he just plays really physical. Like I said in the last video when we played the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson just puts his shoulder down, just bumps Wemby in the post, plays physical all game, and just takes a lot of energy from Wemby. To be honest, Wemby has to, like I said earlier, put on an extra 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, just get more used to the physicality of the NBA play style. I'm confident he will, but right now Memphis's physicality did take a toll on him. To be fair to Memphis fans, Wells, their rookie, he had 8 for 14 from the field, 6 for 8 from three, 22 points, plus 12 on the plus minus, no turnovers, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Yeah, he was really impressive. He's a rookie, just like Stephon Castle. Like I was saying, Stephon Castle had that little half spin, um, you know, aggressive dunk on him early in the game in the first quarter. Stephon Castle put, I think it was 10 points on him in the first quarter, and Wells responded very very well, no pun intended. But yeah, 6 for 8 from three, 8 for 11 from the field, 22 points. Stephon Castle finished with 20. The 1 steal, 4 assists, 7 for 11. I mean, to be fair, Wells had the better game. The better game. His team got the win. And that's the most important thing all the time. But 8 for 11 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3-point land. Stephon Castle had a good game as well, but Wells is a good defender in his own right. He was playing well from a defensive standpoint. And then the 6 for 8 from three and 8 for 11 from the field for the 22 points. Just a big impact from the field. Zach Edey, he had like a nose injury earlier in the game, and he went to the locker room and didn't play after that. But he usually doesn't play a lot in the second half anyway. But he had 4 points, he had 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Nothing crazy for Zach Edey. He was out there. Luke Kennard, he pretty much always gives us trouble. 6 for 9. He only took 9 freaking shots and he scored 17 points. Only 1 turnover. And I'm pretty sure he was playing the point guard position for him, so that's great. 4 assists, which isn't a crazy amount of assists, but he did give his team the 4 dimes. 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And yeah, the most impressive thing for me is the 9 field goal attempts for 17 points. That's really impressive. And then Desmond Bane, he just destroyed us, honestly. I love Desmond Bane, to be honest with you. Not tonight. He's the kind of guy that if he's on your team, you'd love to have him on your team. And if he's not on your team, then you pretty much hate the guy. Bane's not on our team, obviously, but I love Desmond Bane. He's a hooper. 10 for 17 from the field for 22 points, 14 assists, 3 steals, 3 turnovers. He was pretty much playing their primary point guard, to be honest. But yeah, he just destroyed us. 22 points and 14 assists. Only 3 turnovers for the 14 assists. The 3 steals. He's just playing great defense. When he came into the NBA, he was a 3-and-D kind of guy. But yeah, just played really strong defense on all of our guys. He can pretty much switch everything and play good defense 1 through 3. He can do a little bit of defense on 4s. because he's really strong down there in the paint. But yeah, just super impressive game from him. 22 points, 14 assists, 3 steals, 6 rebounds in only 33 minutes. Um, Brandon Clark, 6 for 7, 7 shots for 12 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds in only 19 minutes, no turnovers. So great game by him as well. Just came in and gave him what they need in those 20 minutes. Aldam is so impressive. I would love to have him on the Spurs. I'd love to have Desmond Bane on the Spurs as well. They'd fit great with what we do. They probably fit great on just about any team with their play style. But yeah, Aldama really impressed me. 10 for 19 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He has a beautiful shot from 3. Every time he shot it, I felt like it was going in. He was only 5 from 12. If you watch the game, it felt like he was shooting better than that. But yeah, Adama had a really good game. 29 points. He was their leading scorer, and he really hurt us out there. Um, yeah, I mean the Grizzlies just played a better game than us. There's something else that I wanted to detail there. Let's see, Wells, Jackson, Kennard, Bain. Bain just played great defense on our guys as well as the 22 points and 14 assists. Yeah, what I wanted to say, the Grizzlies just killed us in the fourth quarter. Here, let me see here if they have the. Okay, here it is, you guys. So first quarter, 27 for the Grizzlies, 29 for us. So we're up to. Stephon Castle has the great first quarter. He scores 10 points, I believe, in the first. And then 35-35 for both teams in the second. So we had a good second quarter. I like seeing us score the 35 points, but I'd like to see our defense be better, of course. So yeah, we're up 2 points going into halftime. And then we're usually a third quarter team. We usually have a very good third quarter. We only put up 22. If you've seen any of my other recap videos on the Spurs, I always mention we usually score 30 plus points in the third quarter, but we only score 22, so you don't like to see that. And then on top of that, they put 40 points on top of us in the third, so they're freaking plus 18 points in the third. We're down 16 already going into the fourth quarter. I don't feel like the game is over going into the fourth. I know it's a surmountable lead. I know we can overcome a 16-point lead. It happens all the time in today's NBA, but again, we only put up 26 points, and they put up another 38 on top of us, and they win by 28 points. They beat us by. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you saw Wednesday's game, you pretty much saw tonight's game. I think they put up 73 points on us in the second half of Wednesday's game, and tonight they put up 78 points on us in the second half, which is just not excusable. It's just ridiculous. Again, if you watch the game and you saw the third and fourth quarter, just the whole second half, we're just having breakdown after breakdown. They're just getting open three after open three. I wouldn't say they're getting whatever they want at the rim, but they're getting a little bit of stuff at the rim, but it was just three after open jumper after open jumper. Like, they're just hitting all these threes. We're just having breakdown after breakdown on defense, and just not excusable. Again, the Grizzlies are a pretty young team as well, but they do have Ja Morant, who's basically a veteran player at this point. You can say what you want about when he was younger. He had some off the court issues. Some people would call him immature on the court. I've always liked Ja Morant. I think he's a great player, but especially now as he's getting older, he's became a very great leader for all of his guys. He's just grown up more. He's a great role model for his guys on the court. And then the Grizzlies, they're just an arrogant, ignorant, smug, nasty team, and I say that in the best way. We need some more arrogance and just smug nastiness on our team. We do have some heart, but we're still a trade away I hate to say it. I feel like the best way our season can end is for us to miss the playoffs and finish like 12th or 13th seed. Hopefully, get a lottery pick, make a splash trade in the offseason to bring in our future point guard. Hopefully, get an all-star caliber point guard, and then we're competing for the 4 or 5 seed. Hopefully next season, but we'll just have to see what happens. Have to see how our season finishes. But all credit to the Grizzlies. We didn't play well in the second half, and the main reason was the Grizzlies' defense. One thing I didn't mention, their pace is crazy. They're just running up and down all game. They wore out Wemby. Wemby was tired from the up and down pace and the physicality they played with. But, if you're a Grizzlies fan or just a fan of the Spurs or just someone who watched the video, please comment below what you think. Please like and subscribe. Your likes and subscriptions really help my channel grow larger and get my videos more out there on YouTube. Thank you guys again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.